Do you ever see those guitarists at the jam who always seem to know what chord is coming next, even though they've never played this song before? Would you like to be that player? It's easier than you think. Join me now and I'll show you what these fortune tellers already know. You may hi-hat me all the time. You may never go my way. Mother Earth is laying for you. There's a debt you got to pay. Well, I don't care how great you are. Well, I don't care what you're worth. When it all adds up, you got to go back to Mother Earth. In our video, The Most Popular Progression, we talked about the 1-4-5 progression being the most popular progression in popular music. And we talked about how to find that progression on the guitar. If you've not already watched that one, there's a link up here in the card. Jump out and have a look at it. It's a really good investment of 5 minutes of your time. When we understand how that progression is employed, then we can often easily tell what chord is coming next in our songs. You can see the future. Today, we're going to very briefly review the 1-4-5 progression. We're going to look at a typical blues song and how it implements the 1-4-5 progression. And we're going to discuss two common variations that occur when we're playing the blues. As we've discussed in previous videos, we build all the chords for a particular key by diatonically stacking the notes, as you can see here in this diagram. To facilitate our using this idea as a pattern or template, we don't really need to focus on the specific notes too much. When we just consider this as an explanatory stencil that shows us the structure of diatonic harmony, then we just refer to the numbers, which we call the Nashville numbers. And you can see it here. Here in the key of C, C is the 1, and 5 is the G chord, and the 4 is the F chord. But when we switch to the key of G, then the G becomes the 1 chord, the 5 chord is now the D chord, and the 4 chord is now the C chord. As we have also discussed before, you don't have to memorize all of this theory stuff because the guitar itself includes a roadmap to the 5 chord and the 4 chord, starting at any one. Here you can see that if my 1 chord is rooted on the E string, then the 4 chord has its root on the same fret, but now on the A string, and the 5 chord is also on the A string, but 2 frets up from the 4. My other option on the guitar is that if my 1 chord is rooted on the A string, then the 5 chord has its root on the same fret, but on the E string right below it, and the 4 chord is also on the E string, but 2 frets down from the 5. The structure of the blues is used as a blueprint for rock, blues, rhythm and blues, soul, and a lot of music. So let's just have a quick look at the structure of a standard 12-bar blues song that I played in the intro, Mother Earth. Here's a simple lead sheet type layout for a 12-bar blues. Again, this progression is a blueprint for a lot of blues, rock, and soul. Here you can see that we are playing 4 measures of G, 2 measures of C, 2 measures of G, then 2 measures of D, and finally 2 measures of G again. But what if what we want to understand is how to use this as a blueprint for the whole genre, not just this particular song in the key of G? We don't want to be thinking too much about the specific chords. Now this is a blueprint showing the 1s, the 4s, and the 5s, and we can just plug in different chords from a different key signature depending on what key signature we're playing in. The structure doesn't change. All that changes is the specific chords that we employ. What if we play Good Morning Blues, which is often played in the key of A? What we have looked at so far is a roadmap for a 12-bar blues. And that's a very, very standard structure that you're going to see used a ton of the time in blues, rock, rhythm and blues. There are two common variations that we also see very often. I'm gonna write a little letter, gonna mail it to my local DJ. In Roll Over Beethoven and many rock and blues songs, we vary the chord layout slightly in that first 4 measures. What we notice here is that in measure 2, we switch to the 4 chord. This is sometimes called a fast 4 or a quick 4. And so what's happening is we're playing the 1 chord for 1 measure, and then we go to a 4, and then back to a 1 for 2 more measures. In our earlier version, we played the whole first 4 measures on just the 1 chord. In this variation, we play 1 measure of the 1, 1 measure of the 4, and then 2 more measures of the 1. This adds a little bit of pep to the progression. The second common variation we run across in the 12-bar blues is the ending or the turnaround at the end of the song. So in Mother Earth, in the last 4 measures, we go to the D or the D9 for 2 measures, and then we go to the G, the 1 for 2 measures. Give Me One Reason by Tracy Chapman and many rock and blues songs, we vary the turnaround. So what we notice here in Give Me One Reason is that we play in measure 9, we play the 5 chord, and then we play the 4 chord, and then we follow it with 2 measures of the 1. So in Give Me One Reason, she's playing, well, I don't want to leave you lonely. You gotta make me change my mind. There's 1 on the 1, 2 on. This draws out the resolution of the 5 chord and increases the anticipation and emphasizes the message that this is the end of the circle of the song, and now we're returning to the beginning for the next verse. Today we had a look at a brief review of the 1-4-5 progression. We looked at the structure of a typical 12-bar blues song, and we discussed the 2 main variations that you're going to encounter when you're looking at a 12-bar blues song. Our purpose in all of this is to develop the ability to see a 12-bar song, whether it's an actual traditional blues or a rock and roll song, to see one of these 1-4-5 12-bar structured songs as a predictable formula that we are familiar with. To us, it doesn't matter what key we're working in, we're just working through a familiar pattern, whether we're playing a song in the key of F sharp, like Give Me One Reason, or in G, as in Mother Earth, or in D, as in Roll Over Beethoven. It doesn't really matter to us. Here's a little homework for you. I want you to listen to a few more blues and rock songs. You can go to Ultimate Guitar and grab some chord sheets that might be accurate, but follow along with the blues songs and listen to them. See if you can identify where's the 1 chord, where's the 4 chord, where's the 5 chord, what key are they in. You're probably at a point where you can begin to find your way through these songs just using the principles we've discussed today, a basic understanding of the 1-5-4, and your ears. It's really helpful if you start to listen to a highly structured genre like the blues and begin to understand the predictable reuse of the 1-4-5 in this context, because what it allows you to do is it allows you to go to the jam and be the player who knows where the song is going, even when it's a song that you haven't played before. My name is Bonner. I hope you'll come back and join us on the Bonner Guitar channel again soon. If you're looking for some songs to work on, just click on one of these songs that's hanging up over my shoulder here, and there's some song lessons there that'll help you out. Hope to see you again soon.